Hey everyone, I'm Kayla. I'm the general manager at this location, and I'm excited to get to introduce Mr. Liebman today. Originating from Brooklyn, New York, and raised in New Jersey, and then having spent 13 years in Los Angeles, and now 2 years here in the South, Hollis Lance Liebman is the 1995 National Physique Committee Teenage National Heavyweight Bodybuilding Champion, magazine editor for Men's Exercise, Exercise for Men, and Natural Bodybuilding and Fitness, where he proudly worked in the Empire State Building, contributing contest reporter and photographer for Fitness Mania and Divas magazine, bodybuilding judge, screenwriter, and International Federation of Bodybuilders official. Outdoor Physique is his 13th published fitness book and the third and concluding volume in his Physique trilogy. In addition, Hollis is a passionate animal advocate, as evidenced by his pup squad, Lucy, Oliver, Alfred, and Hero, and he has authored 6 children's books with the Everyone Loves Lucy series, which I actually read at my vet's office, and it's very good. As a personal trainer for 20 years, Hollis has worked with some of Hollywood's brightest stars. Outdoor Physique is dedicated to the memory of his parents, Dale and Bruce Liebman, and this book signing is for those no longer with us from the class of '93. So without further ado.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you to Books and Audio. Once again, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Outdoor Physique. I do want to say that earlier this week, I received news that one of my classmates had passed, and the reason I bring it up is the event is dedicated to the class of '93, but I also want to say that it reminds us that life is precious, and it's a blessing to be here, and I don't want to see any more of my former classmates go, but while we're here, we have to do what we can in life, and I just wanted to say that. So let's get going. So Outdoor Physique started because gyms are not for everyone. Hi, ladies. Some of my readers had said, we like your books, but we don't like the gym. We need an alternative. And that got me thinking. And then I said, there's an issue where I can push all this weight this way, but my back started hurting, and then I said to myself, I need to write this book. So Outdoor Physique is for those that don't like the gym, aren't comfortable in the gym, need an alternative. Okay, so I'm a little nervous today. I'm happy to be here, just a little nervous, and again lost a dear classmate. But it's the third in the trilogy, and I did want to say, bear with me, Peak Physique was the first book in the trilogy. It's a book about getting in shape for an event, a wedding, a reunion. It's an in-gym transformation. Complete Physique expounds upon that, and it has you stay within striking distance of said transformation. But again, a lot of people don't like the gym. And that's what we're here today to discuss, Outdoor Physique. It's a book about putting down your phone and going and playing outside, like we did in our youths. The book strives for pain-free paths of motion, which will be less impactful on joints, less pain upon waking up, and having more stamina for everyday life's tasks. It's a 3-phase program. Phase 1 is 4 weeks, Phase 2 is 4 weeks, Phase 3 is an ongoing life program. Now, there are a lot of bodyweight books out there, but I feel that they're unfairly relegated to push-ups, squats, and dips. And my book is about so much more. It is not a book about hardcore hiking, climbing, or running. It's for any age, any sex, and any level. Again, it's a book that strives for you to be pain-free, just to get out of bed and not hurt and feel good about yourself again. The operative word here is portable. There's no gym, no membership, it's just you. You could be on vacation in your hotel room and do the workout there. Because again, there are a lot of people that just don't like the gym. And that's really okay. It's okay to not like the gym. I'm a very stubborn person, and for years I said it has to be the gym. That's the only way. I'm a Liebman. I take after my parents, rest in peace, who were stubborn. But I also learned from my mom that there is more than one way. And that's what this, again, I can't stress enough, this book is about. It is not a book about preventing aging, because we can't prevent aging, but it is a book that manages to have you move well through the aging process, and that's what it's about. There comes a time when the circumference of the arms, or how much we push, overhead is just less important than waking up and feeling good again. And with all my heart and soul, that's what I put into this book. It is less about aesthetics and more about functionality. That is less about the size of the arm and more about the movement of the arm. An analogy I've used before, and I think you all will understand this, is when I lived in Los Angeles, the first place I put money into my then house was a process called bolting. Bolting is when they reinforce the substructure. Earthquakes happen out there. And I remember when I put the money into it, and it was a lot, the guy said to me, it's not money you readily want to spend, but you'll be pleased that you did, because if something were to happen, you'll be happy you fortified yourself. And that's what Outdoor Physique is to me, a book about fortifying the self. Something that certainly when I was 19 and competing for national titles, I didn't care about. I wasn't mature enough at that point. You take things for granted. As we get older, we appreciate vision, being able to walk and all these things, and I think that just comes in time. But that's what the book focuses on. Now, how is my book different? I deal with the planes of motion. So if you took the body and you split it into the left and right side, this is the sagittal plane responsible for forward and backward motion. If you took the front of the body and the rear, this is the frontal plane responsible for abduction and adduction, or movement away and towards the midline of the body. And finally, the transverse plane, which is the top half and the low half of the body, responsible for rotational movement. Most exercise, as my friend Anthony will tell you, works on one plane of motion. Take the curl, for example. It runs on the sagittal plane for flexion and extension. But life doesn't work that way, does it? We find ourselves twisted and contorted in all different ways. And take, for example, if you're in your substructure or basement, you may find yourself in a squatted position like this to get a given task done. I feel bodybuilding exercises don't really help you for that. But the movements within this book do. And that's the difference. I also wanted to say that lately I've seen a lot of vegan documentaries. And I have yet to see a vegan documentary and at the end say, I'm going to give up my chicken and beef. In fact, after I leave here today, I'm going to have a gigantic cheat meal with a lot of chicken and beef. The point is, for those of you that might be saying, a body weight book, I don't know. I've taken things from those vegan documentaries and added them to my current arsenal to make me better. So there are things within this book, whether you're at whatever stage you are, that you can add to your life just to make life and its journey better. And again, if you're getting anything from me, well, there's a few themes I want to talk about. Finish what you start. These 3 books represent my 30 years in fitness. They are my report on what I have seen. So finish what you start is very, very paramount importance to me. And also, do the best you can. And just, I mean, that's why we go to the gym, right, Anthony? I see Anthony and my friends there a lot at the gym. We go to the gym to better ourselves. It's never about competing against anybody else, and that's what I think people that don't like the gym or maybe are intimidated by the gym maybe don't understand, is it's about bettering you. I never, when I competed, had control over the other athletes. And I remember one show, and I don't want to babble incessantly because I have points to get to, but I remember some guy got in front of me and he was posing. He was trying to intimidate me. And I didn't pay him any money because I had no control over this guy's physique. I wound up beating him. But the point is, we can control ourselves, and that's what life is, at whatever age, level, and or sex we are. And that's why we go to the gym, period. Now, I've talked about the book, and again, it's a very special book. All of my books, it's the only book that's a bodyweight book that takes you outside of the gym. So it's very unique and different from my other books. It starts with mobility movements, which is basically active stretching, then the workout, and then instead of boring cardio and all that stuff, there's actually boxing things in there, combinations, which serves as the cardio, and finally yoga as the cool down. So that's the trajectory of the book and how it works. Now what I want to do is a little different today. I want everyone to leave here with some kind of knowledge. It's very important to me in life to pass on that which you know. So I've put together some things. The first thing I want to do is debunk common myths that I have seen in my 30 years in this industry. A lot of people, I feel, are overtrained and they're underfed. That is, they do too much, especially, we're now in February, but New Year's resolutions, are still kind of maybe going on. And people have come the first, they're like, I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to, right, Anthony? And you see these people, and then they soon thereafter disappear because they do too much and they don't eat enough. It's the first mistake I see. People, how do we rectify that? As humans, we have a need to avoid pain and embrace pleasure. But if you have a mindset when you're exercising, whatever you're doing, if you can face the pain, not in a harmful way, but in a, I'm going to face it in the nucleus of the pain, then you can be done. What do I mean? I can accomplish in one set what a lot of my contemporaries may do in 5, because at my years in, I can generate intensity like a carpenter with a nail. They can do it like this, boom, boom, whereas most of us go like this. So less is more. If you can avoid pleasure and embrace the pain, you can get more done, and I think that's a very important principle. The second thing I see is people switching gears too quickly. We live in a fast world, social media. Probably by the time I'm even home, I'll have to put this up on social media. I like social media too, but the problem is we want instant recognition, and we switch gears too quickly is what I'm saying. And yesteryear, we would give things a chance, and I think it's very important to slow down, to have your ear open and to listen to different people, but to give things a chance. Don't listen to too many. I mean, we didn't put, those of us that are trying to lose body fat, we didn't put the weight on overnight, so we can't expect to take it off overnight. Everything is a slow process, everything, but I believe it is worth it. I also think a common mistake is being too extreme, which I think I just touched on, but not eating enough. I see people, when I was in LA, there was a lady, I think she was getting ready for her wedding. Very awesome, festive, important event in someone's life. She came to the gym every day, twice a day. God knows what she spent on trainers. But she was weeks in, overtrained, and started getting emaciated, and then I never saw her again. So what good is it if we can sort of get to our goals and then disappear? We're in this for the long run. So let's not be too extreme. And I'll get into my own transformation too. But actually, let me show you guys this. I'm skipping. This is not Photoshop. This is me for real, for the before and afters for this very book. I did it in 5 months. I was 262 here and happy, although I'm not smiling there because my belly was full. But I'm lean and mean here. But the point is I did it slowly. And the truth, ladies and gentlemen, is actually I have more muscle here, even though I'm about 198 there and I'm 262 here. I did it slow. So if you get anything from visual proof here, to do it slow. Take your time. And I'm going to tell you how I did this too. I want to give information today. Okay, other myths. Cardio, do I do it first or after? A lot of people go to the gym and they do cardio first. They do a kick, I don't want to curse, a kick butt cardio session and do a haphazard weight session because a lot of them, and this is okay, this is why we're here to learn, but they don't know what they're doing with the weights. If you do cardio first, you're utilizing all of your glycogen. Glycogen is stored carbohydrates. What you want to do is your weight training first, which relies on glycogen. Then you want to do your cardiovascular. You guys always see me, right? I always do my weights and then my cardio. I do my cardio after because then I can dip into fat, adipose stores to burn fat. Cardio should be secondary. The other thing is, cardio is important for the heart and to burn fat, but we're going to enhance the shape of our body, build bone density, help prevent injuries, and so forth, much more with resistance training, body weight training than we are with cardio. So it's okay for someone to say, I'm intimidated by the weights or I don't understand. That's why we're here to get help. But I can't implore you enough to do body weight exercises or resistance training prior to cardio. Stretching. Do I stretch first or after? We all grew up in gym class, and what did they have us do? Stretch first. Not good. If you take frozen chicken out of the freezer and you play with it, what happens? Rips. So you want to thaw your body out. You want to stretch during and after activity. You'll never see me stretch cold. Now the book has mobility exercises, but that's not stretching. That's active stretching. There's a difference between holding something statically when it's not yet malleable. So we want to stretch, and I don't want to overtalk here, but we want to stretch during and after exercise, not before. Weights will make me bulky. I hear this a lot. Generally hear it from females. It's just where I hear it. It's not true. First of all, genetically, there's only so much muscle we can build. Men have more testosterone than ladies, so therefore we do have an easier time to build muscle. Sorry, it's not my fault, it's genetics. But what you might be mistaking as bulk is simply when you have muscle and you have a little bit of fat or water on top of it. So what you want to do is hold on to the muscle and whittle away the body fat. By doing that, by eating clean and doing cardio and working everything together, then you can do that. What's left is quality muscle tissue. Who doesn't want that? That's another thing. Bodybuilding over the years has become like a four-letter word. Generally, when we hear bodybuilding, and this is how I feel, but when women tend to hear it, it's like, ugh, bodybuilding. But let's talk about it. Bodybuilding is what? Maximal lean muscle and minimal body fat. Is there anybody here that wouldn't want more lean muscle to help them in life? Well, maybe not this small, it's dead, but and less body fat, that's all of us. You know, that's what bodybuilding is. That's what I fell in love with all those years ago. Breathing. When do I breathe? First of all, don't hold your breath, because you can, you know, not be here anymore, so that's not good. You want to, and I'll get into this when I talk about reps, but you want to breathe on the, you want to inhale on what's called the negative. The negative is when you extend an exercise, and exhale, excuse me, on the positive. Use breathing for you. Think about it like a bow and arrow. When you pull the bow back, that's the negative, so you would do it slowly, and you would release quickly, for all you hunters out there. But you want, breathing is very important, but use breath for you. Everything I'm talking about today, use for you, and you yield whatever you want to yield. Spot reduction. Hollis, I don't care about this or that, I just want to lose the fat here. It doesn't work that way. I have my mom's large butt. That's the way it goes. When I eat bad, and that's happening later, yes, fat goes here first, and it comes off here last, and that's the way it is. So we can't spot reduce, but what we can do is we can work on everything and systematically whittle things away. When I get in shape, real shape, fat it comes off here last. We cannot control where fat comes off of, nor where it goes first, but we have a canvas, and that my friends will tell you, in which we can work with. And what a beautiful canvas it is, because we can do a lot within the canvas. So we do have a lot of control. Abs. How do I get abs? People always say, abs really, this is the truth, ladies and gentlemen, is really more about what you eat. You could do abs till you're blue in the face. Now, if you're an athlete, someone that requires strength and power there, a tennis player or a baseball player, I would do a lot of direct ab work there to strengthen the muscle. But consider this, everything we do in life, your abs are at work. My abs are at work right now, holding me up, stabilizing me. When I do shoulders, okay, and if you were to do a shoulder press, right, and you had a hand here, you'd feel your abs being worked. So the key to abs is, first of all, we all have them. We all have them, it's just that they're covered by adipose to varying degrees. So if you want your abs to show, you have to melt that fat away. How do you do that? Good nutrition, training, and cardio. And that's the truth. And even though people want to hear, there's no gimmicks. I have seen a lot of stuff in this industry. You have to work at it. My friends are in there day in, day out, banging it out just like me. We know that this is a passionate thing, that we care about it, it takes time. But here's the great thing. We have control over our bodies. I think that's one of the most beautiful things in life. I really do. Okay. Oh, and one last thing here. Actually, a couple things. Boy, I wrote a lot of stuff here. Okay. Soreness. Am I sore? Am I not sore? Is it good or bad? I don't care if you're sore or not, and I'll tell you why. If you didn't work out for a year, now we wouldn't, but let's say we didn't work out for a year, and you did a mishmash of a workout, you'd be very sore, but it doesn't mean it was a good workout. So what's important is temporary muscular failure. What's important is that you felt the muscle working, if it was chest that day, and you go into what's called positive failure till you can't do anymore. That's what's important, not sore, not I did legs today and I'm going to do them tomorrow, which I see as another common mistake of overtraining. It's that you feel it, the muscles working. We have all these tools, and I want to lay them out today, and if it's just a matter of putting them together and making them work for you. Another thing I want to talk about, I'm not into what you call sweating it out, like I want to drop weight, people will wrap themselves up or go in a sauna or a steam room. My opinion on that is once you eat and hydrate, you're going to gain all that back. Now, if you're a wrestler or an athlete that has to make weight, a UFC fighter, I would understand. But for the purposes of what we're here really for today is moving around well in life, I am not for that stuff. Now, if you had a night of drinking and you want to rid the body of toxins or something like that, I don't see the harm in going in the sauna or something like that. But I personally am not a fan of sweating it out. Now, let's get to one thing I really wanted to talk about is tips for New Year's resolutions. So again, my before and after, I did this in 5 months, and I also had another one just to show you guys. Same thing. This is, again, me preparing for this book, before and after, 5 months apart for this very photo shoot. In fact, I believe we shot the next day, if I'm not mistaken. All right, how did I get from here to here? Okay, where are we? Okay, the first thing is to set the target. For me, I envisioned being here for a while. I envisioned the book signing for this book and looking good in a suit. So actually, I had on my fridge Daniel Craig, true story, as James Bond. Not that I would look like him, but And I've met him in LA, and he's a nice guy, but I'm getting besides the point. You need a visual. So if you don't know and X marks the spot, like in the Goonies, there was a map with X marks the spot, you don't know, you're not going to get anything in life. So begin with the end in mind, like our mother used to say. Set a target. My own personal goal, and I don't mind sharing with everybody, was to be in better condition today, even though I'm clothed, and I will remain so, for this signing than the previous one. It was my own personal goal, and Tina, I've seen you in the gym, we're doing our thing. It was an own personal goal, so you make it fun. Set goals is what I'm trying to say, both long-term and short-term. Accountability. I love social media. Who doesn't like a little bit of attention? You know, it reinforces things, so make yourself accountable. I put on social media, I'm getting ready for a book or this and that, and then I have to do it. When I proudly got the Books A Million, thank you again for sending that, the digital, I couldn't wait to get it to put it up because it keeps me accountable. I have to show them, and I want to help people. So accountability is very important. Another thing, ladies and gentlemen, is don't overshoot your goals. Set small, realistic, incremental goals. I want to share with you, and I am a prop person. This is my bodybuilding journal from when I won the T Nationals in '95. So I, even then, always had a calendar. I always had a plan, my best lifts and everything. And what you'll see, besides a lot of illegible writing, is a plan. Always trying to incrementally make myself better. Without a plan, you're not getting anything done to the great ability that you could. So this has served me well. Okay. Plan. Okay, another thing I want to share with you. In the build-up to this event, I still do the calendars today. Here was for the month of February, and X means to me that I ate well that day. A C means I cheated. There's no C's, but guess what? Going to be a C after today. But here's my point, and I got to keep it very real. I had a C. My last cheat meal was the 31st of January. Just keeping it real. I'm human too, and I think that's what a lot of authors don't let people know is I'm an emotional eater, and I go up and down like everybody else. But the thing that Rocky tells us is to get back up, right? What does Rocky say? We all get knocked down, and you got to get back up. And I just believe in transparency. Look at all the C's on this. I mean, not too many, but there's a few. Okay, I cheated those days. But look at this. This looks nice. Until later. Keep yourself accountable and be real. All right. Another thing I wrote this morning, I was going through it. A couple things. Monday should not be a start over. It should be a continuation. A lot of people, I feel, Monday through Friday will do too much, and they're burned out. Oh, screw this, and they junk up the whole weekend. You see it all the time, right, Tina?
I do.
We need realistic goals. So what I'm trying to say, forgive me if I'm babbling, is Monday should be a continuation, not a start over. It's okay to stumble. I had a bad meal, but a meal shouldn't turn into a day. It can set you back too much. So it should be a continuation, not a start over. The other thing, and this is something that gets me, is not to blame others. I remember a long time ago, I was dating this woman, and well, we were kissing or whatever, and my alarm went off on my watch. And she's like, what the hell? And this is a true story. I reached under her and I pulled out Tupperware with chicken breast, rice, yams, and vegetable. She's like, what are you doing? And I said, this is a true story. I go, I'm going to be in my underwear in a few weeks posing in front of people. Not you. I got to eat clean. I've been to a funeral for my grandfather, Joe, rest in peace, and everybody was eating. You know, that's what you do. And I couldn't eat. And I remember my uncle was like, what's going on? I was like, I don't eat for another hour and a half. I never blamed people for my lack of success or whatever. And I just think that's important. And the other thing is I've been to a wedding. When I was getting ready for this book, I went with a friend of mine to a wedding. I was invited. I was proud to go. Couldn't eat a thing. I had my food with me. And I remember my friend made a comment, but I said, you know, this book is everything to me, and it's not worth the cheat meal. I'm a little extreme, but that's how I roll. I don't like blaming others for my lack of progress. I like the fact, to me, the fairest thing in life is our body, because what we yield is largely up to us. I can't think of a more fair thing. That's why I never liked team sports. I failed at soccer, I failed at football, I quit. I quit at karate also, which maybe is a solo endeavor, but I like solo endeavors. I don't like having to rely on other people. If the guy on third base was out drinking the night before and I wasn't, and he screws up, I have a problem with that. So I love the fact that we have control over our bodies, is what I'm trying to say. The other thing is not to be perfect, right? Or Elizabeth, what do you say?
Progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection. When I sign books, I write take imperfect action. It doesn't have to be perfect. The other thing too is for people that are new to fitness and say, I have to eat all this food. No, you don't. You don't have to be perfect. If you are new to fitness and you're looking at, just do a little bit. If you can't get all the food in today, that's okay, because guess what? Once you get up to speed, you'll need all that healthy food. It doesn't have to be perfect, and we beat ourselves up. We look at social media and commercials and magazines and TV and stuff. Just do the best you can. I mean, for real. Okay, how can we stay with our New Year's resolutions? I'm in school. I'm a student again. I'm proud to do so in a very competitive field, and I bring food with me because everything they have there is, I'm not going to curse, is not healthy. And another thing I do want to say is, and this is just bewilders me, but it's a very competitive program, and everything in life is hard. So when I hear people say, I heard a student the other day, I couldn't believe it. They were like, this is really hard. I'm going to switch programs. And I wanted to shake them and say, are you nuts? Everything in life is hard. Pick something and stick with it. I mean, everything is hard in life. Just pick something and stick with it. The other thing is not to go too extreme. So I suggest having one meal a day that has fat in it. Every day, I have at least one meal that has lean beef in it, or nuts, or avocado. If you go too low fat, or egg whites, or just tuna, or that kind of stuff, you will be hungry in 2 hours. So you have to think ahead and have a little bit. It's a trick that helps me. I have that one meal a day of fat, and it really satiates me. The other thing, and some of you may shake your head at this, stop looking at the scale. I cannot stand the scale. I hate it. If I had it here right now, I would do a Hulk Hogan and throw it through. I can't stand it. The scale just gives us a number, but it doesn't tell us the composition. It doesn't tell us what's muscle, what's fat, and what's water. If you want to use it once in a while to stay within striking distance, I'm okay with that. I use my clothes, the mirror, photographs, video, and my progress in the gym. Because friends want the best for you and family with this. Sometimes they won't be honest with you. But these other tools that I mentioned are always honest with you. I don't like the scale. I never did. My other trick, believe it or not, is I watch a lot of Man vs. Food. When I watch someone eating stuff that I can't eat till they get sick and have to use the restroom, it makes me happy because I'm living vicariously through them. It's just a trick that works for me. You may watch that show and go, he's a pig, change the channel, where it's disgusting, but it helps me. Whatever tricks, in the past, I would take my brother, we would go to shopping. I think we would go to, my Marshall's a good sport. We would go to ShopRite or something, and I'd be there for 2 hours. Hours. And what would I do? Be looking at food?
Every single product.
How did you put up with that? I don't. The point is, and I'm over, is everyone has a process. Find what works for you. But if you're getting anything from my nonsense, it's you have control over your body, and that's what's very, very important. Some tips for eating, and I want to revert back here. What's going on here, ladies and gentlemen, is called emotional eating. I'm eating my feelings. For real. This is called conscious eating. Conscious eating is when you're eating to sustain your life. You're not eating your feelings. You're not eating because you're missing something in life. And I don't drink or do drugs, but I'm a foodie. I turn to food, and when I get depressed or whatever, and some other people here, I guess, too. The thing is not to let it turn into a whole day, because one day turns into another, and then you get this or worse. So let us all strive to be, conscious eaters and not emotional eaters. And it's hard, because food is readily available. It's cheap. It makes you feel good, but we have to think ahead. So what I suggest is in a 7-day period, Wednesday and Saturday, having a cheat meal, not day, meal. So that therefore every 3 days you have something to look forward to. All right. People
Could I ask a question?
Please, yes.
So on your calendar, when you had a C, was it a cheat meal? It wasn't a cheat day?
That was a cheat meal, and I'll tell you why. It's a great question.
When you mark the C?
Yeah,
That's just a meal, not the day.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you asked that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a meal. Because a day would derail me.
Yes. Yeah, you
So
had a bad week there in the second week of January.
I did. I was. You know what it is?
I wonder what was going on.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm in microbiology. It was about to start, and I wanted to hang myself. I can't stand it. It's so bad, and I got to grow bacteria, and it stinks. I can't stand it. Anyway, no, I had a rough week. I had a
You
rough
did have
day.
a rough week.
Yeah.
I noticed that when you put it out.
I really did. In fact, I'm embarrassed. Let's forget. Let's forget we saw it. We didn't see it.
Everybody's seen it.
But no, that's a great question. Is a cheat meal not a day, because we can really derail ourselves. We can do a lot of damage in a day, especially me.
But not a meal. I mean, not, well, if you ate all day, but just a meal. That was my question.
Yeah, I'm really glad
I
you
just
asked
saw
it.
cheat. I didn't
Yeah.
hear the meal.
Cheat meal if I wasn't clear. Cheat meal, not cheat day.
Are you finished with that microbiology?
No, it's till April. You know what?